and welcome to the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living. It's good to see the people here in person. I can't see you, but also welcome people online to the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living Meditation. So right now, I just invite you to sink into your chair or your bed or your couch or wherever you are and let out a deep breath. And we'll just do a couple of those. A deep inhale and let it out. And just allow your body to continue to breathe. It's what it does. It likes it. It's good for you. Keep going. And while your body's doing that, focus your attention on the area above your head. And if you can, just kind of see some sort of radiance emanating from that spot, shining down directly on you. A soft light that almost carries a texture to it, like a drizzle, except it's warm, it's comforting, and it's soothing. And it radiates from the crown of your head, down along your neck, your scalp, your shoulders. A soothing energy that encourages your body to relax. Perhaps you can feel your shoulders sinking down just a little bit more. Feel that one jaw muscle just release a little bit more. Going down your torso. Feel your hips loosen up, your thighs, your calf muscles, all the way down to your feet. I want to pass on my congratulations to being here, to choose to meditate, to choose to be in peace. Today's meditation will be about choice. I think it's an amazing, empowering thing that at any moment we can choose. Choose our attitude, our reactions, our responses. Choose where we place our attention. Choose what we see. Choose what we do. So much choice. So today we'll focus on choosing to look for the good, to feel the good, to be grateful for it, to sit in it. To look for the good. So before we go into silence, I encourage you to answer this question. Right here, right now, in this moment, what is the good that you can, or maybe even already are, choosing to see in your life? So we'll go into silence, ponder that question for a little while, and you'll hear my voice return a few times as we spend most of the next 10 minutes in silence. Look for the good. For myself, whenever I think of looking for the good and what that could mean, I'm reminded that there are things, there are emotions, there are connective processes like love, like joy, compassion, companionship, friendship, communication. That there are dynamics of ebb and flow in every relationship. That thoughts can be communicated, understood. We take all that for granted, or at least I do sometimes. But truly, what an amazing world we live in, where all that is. Look for the good. I remember watching a video not too long ago. It was just a older man's voice and scenes of nature, skies, puffy clouds, mountain ranges, water valleys. And the whole point of the message was there's all this beauty always around us. And we just have to choose to see it. It's already there. I've often heard of people watching a natural disaster on TV or in person and being reminded of, while you're looking at that, look for the people helping, because there always are. Here in this province and our neighboring provinces, I'm sure most of you know there's a pretty tragic wildfire situation happening, and yet there are thousands of firefighters, thousands of individuals, thousands of neighbors, thousands of members of community that are cooking meals, that are working hard to assist those in their community. It's not that the fires aren't happening, they certainly are. But also look for the good, look for that compassion, look for that kindness, because it's definitely there. Look for the good. So we'll just do a few more minutes of silence. You'll hear me again then. Look for the good. There's a pretty old saying in this teaching and New Thought that says, where your attention goes, energy flows. And as you train yourself, or practice, or however you want to phrase it, looking for the good, the more you'll see it. And if you're up for that challenge, I might warn you that there's some joy in your future, some good vibes, some positive feelings, and some challenges along the way. And now, with the sound of my voice, bring your attention back to your physical presence. Slowly feel your fingers and your toes. Return your awareness back to the room that you're in. Despite the windy noise, your hair is fine, let me assure you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And our musicians will hit the stage in just a few minutes. Namaste.
At first I was afraid, I was petrified, kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong, and I grew strong, and I learned how to get along. So now you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your key. If I'd have known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. Oh, now go, walk out the door. Just turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? You think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die? Oh, no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll feel alive. I've got all my life to live, I've got all my love to give. I will survive, I will survive. Hey, hey. It took all the strength I had not to fall apart. Kept trying hard to mend the pieces of my broken heart. And I spent oh so many nights just feeling sorry for myself. I used to cry, but now I hold my head up high and you see me, somebody new. I'm just a enough little person still in love with you. And so you felt like dropping in and just expect me to be free. Now I'm saving all my loving for someone who's loving me. Go now, go, walk out the door. Just turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to break me with goodbye? You think I'd crumble? Just think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll feel alive. I've got all my life to live, I've got all my love to give. I will survive, I will survive. Oh, go on now, go, walk out the door. Just turn around anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? You think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll feel alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I will survive. I will survive.
Yowza! Wow, what a way to start. Hi, everybody. How are you? It is so great to see everybody and the energy just through the roof. How exciting is that? I want to introduce myself. If you are new to the center, I'm Pat Campbell, and I am the spiritual director of the center. And believe it or not, we are real spiritual. You'll find out that. Well, I will survive, yes? Yes, woo, absolutely. But if you haven't ever been to a center, a few things you need to know. We are a faith tradition. We don't call ourselves a religion. We are a faith tradition that honors all faith traditions. We understand that there are as many paths to understanding as there are people on this earth. Every one of us has the spark of the divine within us. And every one of us is on a path. So if this path works for you, that's absolutely wonderful. Maybe it's not quite your cup of tea. Maybe you thought you were going to hear helplessly. No, I can't even think of a name of a hymn. And you hear I Will Survive instead. Maybe that's not your cup of tea. It's absolutely fine. We support everyone in finding their right and perfect path. So what I'd like to ask is if there's anybody who is here for the first time, if you're willing to just raise your hand and let us say hi to you. I thought maybe so. Awesome. Welcome. And there in the back also, Rosalie. Oh, and over here as well, Rosalie, way over there in the corner. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I think you're going to have fun. Okay, so we're gonna, especially this Kong song, we just did it a couple of weeks ago and it was so fun, we decided to do it again. And it's called, I'm Too Blessed to Be Stressed. So let's stand up and sing, shall we?
I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too grateful to be hateful. I'm too blessed. Stressed. Not gonna let it get me down. Not gonna let it push me over. Not gonna let it run me round. 'Cause I know the truth. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too grateful to be hateful. I'm too blessed to be pissed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Make them up for me, ain't gonna hear me sing the blues, 'cause I know the truth. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too grateful to be hateful. I'm too blessed to be pissed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Am I grateful if I take? Yes, yes. Am I grateful I'm wide awake? I'm grateful for each passing day. Yes, yes. Grateful, I'm grateful. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too grateful to be hateful. I'm too blessed
You know, that song is easy enough to remember that you can take it with you out into the world, because that's a dandy one to remind yourself of what the truth is. So we gotta send the kids on to Fun Day. So Miss Rachel is here. Let's see you guys. Well, that was interesting. We moved you from this side to that side, and that happened.
Yeah, I turned off the mic now.
Okay, good deal, good deal. Okay, so we have a lot of things that are going on. It's like summer is kind of here, and so we've got all kinds of activities and stuff. The first one I want to tell you about is a workshop that our lovely lady, we call her Our Lady of Peace, Karen Huggins, is doing a workshop on living in harmony with ourselves and inner peace. It's going to be on July 11th. And you may be wondering, well, why Karen, and why is she doing a June 11th? Yes, thank you. My little Greek chorus over here, thank you. On June 11th, and you may be wondering why Karen. I mean, why not somebody else? Karen actually has a master's degree in peace studies. She went to the Peace University in Costa Rica and received that accreditation. So she really has things to share. She really has that sense of inner peace about her. We'll bring her up in a couple of weeks to tell you more about that, but it is on June 11th, right after service, 12:30, so you can go get something real quick to eat and come back. It's $20. You can do an e-transfer to the center office at calgarycsl.org. Any of the things that I'm telling you about are in our newsletter and also on our website if you need to check some more information. So that's on June 11th. We are still looking for volunteers for our casino, and Sharon Faulkner, who is our general manager, is going to tell you what we need.
Hello?
You're
Hi.
on.
Oh, good.
Yes.
So our day positions are all filled.
Yay!
So you want to be a night owl for this next one, at least for 1 or 2 nights. I'm the evening general manager. The
good.
day general manager is here with us as well, Alana.
Thank you,
And,
Alana.
and we need about 22 people still for the evening shift. So it's about 6 till 3, 6 till 2, something like that. And the 6 o'clock is changeover time. So the day shift goes to 6:30, I think, maybe 7. I'm a little vague on the details, but Lance
Why
knows.
we're so glad you're our general manager.
Lance knows everything. Okay, so you get to work with me. Woohoo! Right? So come and volunteer. It's lots of fun, no experience necessary. The staff at the Deerfoot Inn and Casino are amazing, and they train us every time we come in. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Awesome job. And what I want to tell you about the really tough evening shift, it's the only one I've ever worked, which starts at like 10 at night and goes till the casino is closed, and we count the money. Now that's fun. I can't tell you how much fun it is. And I think I told you that I'm flying home a day early from our conference in California so that I can work the evening shift because I like it that much, and this is such an important fundraiser for us. So I'm hoping that online people, in-person people, everybody, if you will please sign up and fill those shifts up because it's an important event for our center. So thank you, Sharon, and thank you, Alana, for volunteering for that as well. So upcoming events that we have, Rap with the Rev is in 2 weeks on Sunday, June 4th. If you are new to the center, since we had our last Rap with the Rev, which I think was in January, you want to come to this. It's after service. We're going to feed you. You're going to find out a little bit about me and about my spiritual path, how I got here, and you're going to get a chance to know other people. So it's really, really a fun event. And just let us know that you're coming. Lucille, I saw Lucille come in. Let Lucille know so we know how much food to make, but she's a great cook, so I can tell you that the food is good. So anyway, so that's on June 4th, right after service, so like 12 o'clock, something like that. And then we'll get more information, but Patricia Morgan is going to be doing an inner child workshop on Sunday, June 12th after service as well. So we'll get some more information about that. I know I told you all kinds of things happening here. Our ongoing groups, we have ongoing Zoom groups that have been happening for quite a long time. Consciousness Seekers with practitioner Ron Hahn is on Monday nights at 7 via Zoom. And Ron asked me to remind you all that this is not a book study. You don't have to have read a book in order to get the information from it. It's just kind of a jumping off point, and it is a lighthearted, wonderful conversation about spiritual things. So that's Mondays at 7 o'clock. Coffee with Dr. Pat, that's me, noon, Wednesdays at noon. It's always fun on Zoom. And then our saging group is going to be on hiatus for the summer. They'll come back in early October. So just lots of ways to be connected, to find that sense of community for our love stream people and also for our in-person people. So now we've gotten taken care of all of the business. Now we're going to go into the more sacred part of our service. I'm going to invent Lance. I'm inventing, going to invite Lance to come up. He is our practitioner. He's also our operations manager. So he does know all and everything. Steph is going to lead us in a chant. Oh, and I'm going to invite, the rest of the ministers and practitioners to please come forward and kind of line the stage here. They're here to serve you. If you have something going on in your life and you'd like to have some spiritual support, that's what they're here for. And they love to do treatment for you on Sunday mornings. So they'll be kind of hanging around back in the back of the sanctuary. And it's as easy as coming up and saying, "Excuse me, Sabrina, could I talk to you for a second?" And did you see the look on her face? She was like, "I'd be happy to." I'm serious. They love doing this work. So avail yourself of that. So Steph, if you would, please.
Love reflecting love, one with the divine, peace expressing heaven bright, light reflecting light, love reflecting love, one with the divine, peace expressing heaven bright, light reflecting light.
So in this moment, I focus my attention, my thoughts, and my knowing to the truth that there is just one. In and behind all things, all thoughts, all feelings, all actions, all the flow of the universe, there is that one cause, the source of all, the one. And that singular consciousness pours itself into this universe, into each sentient being, into each beating heart. And it lives through each and every single one of us. And I am of that source. That consciousness is of my consciousness. What is true for me is true for all. That the power of love, the power of creation, the flow of life is in and through and as me. And because I know that that is true, I feel the power, that one power. I feel the abilities of my body, of my mind, of my soul. And I choose to use them and express them for good. And I'm just grateful for being able to do that and for knowing that truth. And in that gratitude, I simply release my word now and let it be. And so it is.
So it is.
Love reflecting love, one with the divine, peace expressing heaven bright, light reflecting light.
So I invite you to say along with me the vision statement of the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living, which is just up on the screens here. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living is a beacon of spiritual illumination that inspires individuals to reveal their wholeness, co-creating a world that works for everyone. And then on to our mission statement. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living makes accessible a way of living and thinking that reveals one's spiritual magnificence and personal power. We co-create an inclusive community that fosters an expansion of consciousness. Thank you.
Thank you, Lance. Beautiful treatment. Thank you, Steph. And thank you all, my beloveds, for being here today. We are so blessed to have such a contingent of spiritual giants in our midst. So this next song was a request by me. And number one, it's just fun and so cool, and people of a certain generation are going to just love it. People of another generation are go, oh, that was interesting. So, so sometimes we call her Hoochie Mama when, excuse me just a minute. Tell them about your concert.
Yeah, I'm having a concert here in Calgary on Friday, June the 2nd. It's about 50% sold out. I guess 50% sold. And yeah, if you'd like to attend, you can find tickets on my website, olivermiguel.com. So thank you.
And is it the whole Revolution?
It's the whole band. Steph is there.
Including Hoochie Mama, which is you can't believe that this hippie mama can dress like a Hoochie Mama, but she can, and she's spectacular.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So olivermiguel.com for tickets to that event on June 2nd.
And if you put CCSL in the promo code, you get 15% off.
If you put CCSL in the promo code, you get 15%
so you guys get
off.
A special deal.
Yes, yeah. Awesome. Okay, so without any further ado, please welcome Elevation.
flat in Baton Rouge, waiting for a train, when I was feeling nearly as faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed a diesel down just before it rained, rode us all the way to New Orleans. I pulled my harpoon out of my dirty red bandana. Your Bobby soft, oh Bobby sang the blues out. The windshield wipers slapping time. I was holding Bobby's hand in mine. He sang every song that driver knew. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, and nothing, and it's nothing to feel free. Yeah. Well, feeling good was easy, Lord, when he sang the blues. You know, feeling good was good enough for me. Ooh, good enough for me and my Bobby McGee. From the Kentucky coal mine to the California sun, yeah, Bobby shared the secrets of my soul. Through all kinds of weather, through everything that we done, yeah, Bobby, baby, kept me from the cold. One day out near Salinas, Lord, I let him slip away. He's a-looking for that home, and I hope he finds it. Well, I trade all of my tomorrows for one single yesterday, to be holding Bobby's body next to mine. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, and nothing, and it's all that Bobby left me. Yeah. Well, feeling good was easy, Lord, when he sang the blues. Hey, feeling good was good enough for me. Ooh, good enough for me and my Bobby McGee. Yeah. Na na na, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, Bobby McGee. Yeah. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, Bobby McGee. Yeah. Na na na, na 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 na, la na 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 na. Hey, na Bobby and a Bobby McGee. Yeah. La na 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 na, la na 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 na. Hey, no Bobby and a Bobby McGee. Yeah. Hey, and I call him my lover, call him my man. I said I call him my lover, do the best I can. Come on, hey, Bobby, no, hey, Bobby McGee. Yeah. La na 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 na. Hey, 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 Bobby McGee. Yeah.
Featuring Steph Chapman. Wowza, that was good. Chills, chills. That was so good. And it was a generational thing, right? Yeah, yeah. So I had this picture, in Janice's day, we'd have been holding up our lighters or something like that. And this day I wanted my cell phone so I could be doing like that. Lisa, could you lift that up for me there? Thank you. Wow, that was really terrific. Thank you, Elevation. Oliver, you can play the sax, man. Yeah. Would you breathe with me, please? Taking a deep breath. And again. And one more time at your own pace. That good music just coursing through us, and then just that breathing. We're all here now. We're all present. So if you know me, and many of you know me pretty well, you know that I've absolutely fallen in love with a TV show called Ted Lasso. Any other Ted heads in the room? Okay, awesome. I never remember being quite so smitten with a TV show and its storyline and the cast and everything. It's clever, it's funny, it's thought-provoking, it's heartwarming, and it's also spiritual. So much so that I'm going to be teaching a class on it. I'm going to be forced to have to watch it again to write down all the Tedisms and all of these things because it is absolutely incredible. So stay tuned for that. I'm not quite ready yet. So, because they're just rolling out the third season now, right? So a few weeks ago, I was sitting there waiting for it to be time for Ted Lasso to come on. I got my special food, my special Ted Lasso food, and and I'm watching this latest episode, and they only drop once a week, so it is teaching me patience, sort of. So one of the main female characters, Rebecca, is having a chance romantic encounter with a handsome stranger, and he's telling her that he was divorced and that it almost destroyed him. And then he said, and this is the impetus for today's talk, he said, but then I realized that this thing didn't happen to me, it happened for me. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. This thing didn't happen to me, it happened for me. If that isn't pure New Thought teaching, I don't know what is, because what we teach here at this Center for Spiritual Living is that every experience that we have can either stunt our growth or accelerate our growth. Yes? Another way of putting it is that every experience that we have can either leave us bitter or better. And ultimately, we're the ones who determine how that's going to happen and what course of action we're going to take. Are we going to believe that life or our spouse or our boss or the world is doing something to us? Or are we going to believe that life, with a capital L, is ultimately working for us? Our founder, Ernest Holmes, wrote this. He said, we need to stop denying the nature of the universe. It is good, harmonious. It is for us, not against us. Now, I realize that this can be a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, especially if you are in the midst of a to-me experience, and we've all had them. I don't care how enlightened you are. We've all had to-me experiences. And when it's happening in our lives, it can be almost impossible to see any good in the situation, let alone any growth potential. Am I right? Nod your heads if I'm right. However, this is where the art of developing faith comes in. Because not only have we all had to-me experiences at one time or another, we have also had experiences of going through something that felt like a to-me thing and then growing through it and then finding that it ultimately was for us. Now, at the time, it seemed like the very worst thing that could happen. God had made a mistake. And yet when we look back, we can see how that situation absolutely had to happen in order for us to move forward. Steve Jobs said this: "You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach," he says, "has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life." And so when we find ourselves in yet another to-me situation, because we've all been through challenging times and we've survived, we've moved through the situation, and then we know that we can go through it. So it builds our faith and it builds our trust in it, knowing that we have made it through before. That's how faith is built. Does that make sense? You with me? Okay. Emerson wrote this. He said, "All I have seen teaches me to trust the Creator for all I have not seen." Our way of putting that, all that I have experienced has taught me to trust the universe, even when I can't see why something is happening or what's coming to me. So I'm going to tell a personal story today that's going to illustrate this, and it's also going to show you that the universe has a very wicked and very funny sense of humor. So I came up with this talk title, "Why Is This Happening to Me?" after seeing the Ted Lasso episode. And I was super excited that I was going to come back from my trip to Oregon, and I was going to write this whole talk of it. Did it happen for me or did it happen to me and all this? But what I had not factored in was that in choosing the talk title, "Why Is This Happening to Me?" I might be setting myself up for an adventure. Because the truth is, I was not really looking forward to this trip. It was a kind of hastily put together retreat of the Centers for Spiritual Living Leadership Council, of which I've just joined. And it was there for us to kind of come together as a group, to kind of cohese as a group, get on the same page and get to know one another. Because the Leadership Council, because of COVID and a bunch of other things, had not come together as a group in a really long time. But I was a little bit nervous about going because I had been appointed, not elected. And so I didn't know if there was going to be some kind of weird energy around that or something. And then you add to that, we were meeting at the newly acquired camp that Centers for Spiritual Living had purchased about a year ago. And when I say camp, I mean camp. Rustic. Out in the middle of nowhere. 3-inch mattresses on the beds. Bugs. Camp, okay? Now, granted, we all had our own rooms, thank you, God, but we were going to share facilities with a few other people, and I did not know these people. Okay, Now add to that, it was hot. It was really, really hot, like abnormally hot for May in Oregon. And of course, nothing is air conditioned because, hello, it's Oregon. It's a little bit like Calgary. We don't always need air conditioning. So that's one part of the story. Another strange layer was that I was staying at my brother's house. He lives in Portland, and I was going to borrow one of his cars. And this is significant because I'm not as confident a driver as I used to be. So I had some nervousness about driving the car. Plus, I was giving a ride to another member of the council, of the leadership council, who I didn't know except on a couple Zoom calls. So here I am. I'm going to drive an unfamiliar car, a Prius. You know, they're kind of weird. And I know. So I'm going to drive an unfamiliar car with an unfamiliar person to an unfamiliar place to meet even more unfamiliar people. And I'm wondering why choosing why is this happening to me may not have been the smartest choice. So, trip started fine. My brother picked me up at the airport. We went for Mexican food, yay. Went to my great-nephew's baseball game, and that was fun once we found some shade because, did I mention it was hot? And then, the next morning, the question of why is this happening to me reared its head in a sudden, violent, and very unwelcome manner. But before I tell you about that, I need to lay a little bit more groundwork. My brother and I are very different. He's a doctor. Well, I'm a doctor too, but I'm a doctor of a metaphysical new thought organization. And he's a scientist. Okay. He's also my older brother. So by very virtue of that, that means that I'm the bratty little sister, right? And it really explains our dynamics. So I've worked over the years to kind of heal this dynamic, to kind of shift it around, and it had been going pretty well until this past weekend. Because they have an old cat who is kind of cantankerous. And my brother told me several times to be careful because the cat bites. But I'm a cat whisperer. And a bratty little sister. And a you're not the boss of me kind of a person. So I'm petting her and she's purring. And I'm scratching her, and she's purring. And I'm scritching her under the chin, and she's rearing up and nailing my hand with all of her teeth. Not once, but twice. And blood is running down the floor, and he's saying, I told you she bites, I told you she bites. And I'm supposed to leave in 5 minutes to go pick up my colleague to go to a retreat at a camp in the middle of the nowhere in an unnaturally hot weekend. And what's reverberating through my mind is, why is this happening to me? So we got my hand kind of semi-bandaged up. And I managed somehow to get my colleague and me to the camp. And it's actually quite lovely. If you ever get a chance to go, bring your own mattress. But it's lovely. It's 32 acres, in the Oregon forest, and it's really beautiful. So we get there and we kind of cruise around. We get to see it. It's lovely. And then we had this very good kind of early afternoon meeting, had a delicious dinner. The food's really good. We did more spiritual work in the evening, and then it's time to go to bed. Now, I had the foresight. This is not my first rodeo. I had the foresight to bring a fan. So I actually slept pretty well despite the stifling hot room on the second floor, the 3-inch camp mattress, and an ever-worsening cat bite. And by the next morning, I knew that I was going to have to do something about it because it did not look good. So even with all of this stuff going on, I make my way back down the mountain on curvy roads which make me nervous, people on my tail, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I have a cat bite. I found an urgent care center. It's about 45 minutes from where we were. I got a chance to see a doctor, and I got on antibiotics. However, by this time, about 24 hours had happened since the first bite, and this is what my hand looked like. And it hurt. It hurt a lot. We still had 24 hours more to go to the end of the retreat, which left me again wondering, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? And one other thing that I want to tell you is that despite the injury and the accompanying pain, and it was quite painful, despite the rustic accommodations, despite the heat, despite the unfamiliarity of the people in new circumstances, it actually ended up being a really, really good retreat. We visioned, we prayed, we bonded, we planned, we came together as a cohesive group. In fact, I would even go so far as to say that my having an injury helped reveal a consciousness of love and a consciousness of healing in the entire group. It's like we all pulled together, not only to do the work of the center, but also to be there in support of me. So perhaps instead of wondering, why is this happening to me, it actually was. Look at what is happening for me. I was nervous about being with these people in this leadership position. Yeah, I'd never done this before. Was I going to belong? I was concerned about my ability to be uncomfortable and not become cranky, because I do become cranky when I'm not comfortable. And my other concern was that I was going to be too stuck in all these years of ministry where we've done it a certain way that I wouldn't have anything relevant to add. And yet, despite being injured, despite it being hot, despite of me being uncomfortable, I managed to participate and hopefully bring value. And what happened was it elicited this loving kindness from my colleagues. And I knew at that point that it was happening for me and for all of us who were there. And again, what it brought me to was the idea of faith. Let me tell you what I mean by that again. I've gone through difficulties before, absolutely. I've gone through discomfort before. I've felt less than before. I felt vulnerable before. And when I look back on those situations, and I realize that not only had I survived them each time, but I had thrived, and I had grown through them. So when I was faced with it again in some pretty, at the time, harrowing circumstances, I knew, something inside of me knew that I could trust. And I could trust that it was ultimately happening for me, not to me. And for that, I was so grateful. And for antibiotics, I'm so grateful. And so it is. I know, I got done a little early. It is perfect, and this next song couldn't be any more perfect. It was not. They came up with this on themselves. So to our new people, I know we have a couple of new people here. I want to tell you, you may just think that our music is good today because, I'd come back from a trip or something like this. But this is our music all the time. It's always outstanding, always of this caliber. Yeah. These are okay. Oliver, did you work last night? Okay.
Well, not on music. But yes.
Okay, not on music. Lisa, did you play last night? Okay, you guys are totally blowing my story here. Any of you worked last night? Okay. So this is the most out of work group of musicians. No, usually they are gigging musicians almost all the time. And they still get up and come here for 8:30 to rehearse. How cool. We are so blessed. Please welcome Elevation.
Broken down and tired, living life on a merry-go-round. You can find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we can walk it out. Move mountains, gonna walk it out. Move mountains. Oh, rise like the day. Oh, rise like the waves. I'll rise up. I'll do it 1,000 times again. I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. Silence isn't quiet. Feels like it's getting hard to breathe. You don't feel like dying. I promise we'll bring the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, all we need is hope. Know that we have each other. Know that we have each other. We will rise, we will rise I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up,
Steph Chapman, Oliver Miguel, Lisa Chapman, Luis Tovar, the non-working musicians. No. Totally joking, totally joking. How about that? Give that up for them. That was awesome. What a perfect song. Yeah, really worked, really worked. Okay, so lots of stuff happening. Happy to see everybody. Long weekend. So I want to tell you how you can support the center with your financial good. On screen is different ways: e-transfer, website check, call the office. You can do conscious commitment. We're going to take our collection here. Those of you who are on our love stream, you can think of it as a virtual pass the basket. If you want to go ahead and set an e-transfer, that'd be awesome. And so I invite everybody to take their tithe, their gift, their offering, their donation, hold it to your heart, infuse it with some good, loving energy. And let's say our conscious giving affirmation together. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I give returns to me multiplied abundantly. I am so blessed, and so it is, and so it is. And we're going to sing I Thank Love for Everything. Okay, we're going to bring in the kids, and they are ready to come. Here we are. You are so silly.
Yeah, hello. Okay, it is on.
You are.
Hi, happy Sunday.
Yay!
We had so much fun today. We read a book about a little panda and about confidence. And then we planted some stuff in the garden, and the kids had a whole lot of fun with that. And then we came in and we were just finishing up making some like Mother's Day flowers again. It was like such a popular activity that they just always want to do it. So we were just doing some flowers. Do you girls want to say anything today? What was that?
We had a lot of fun.
Yay, they had a lot of fun.
Yay! You know, I want to tell you all that Miss Rachel is here every week, or Miss Elizabeth is here also, and she's been trained by Centers for Spiritual Living to be running this youth program and to be running the Fun Day. And so bring your kids, absolutely. She's like our practitioner. She's longing to have kids here, and we're really glad you guys came. Thank you. Give it up for our kids.
Much.
That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to invite everybody to stand up, and we're going to do our final blessing. We're going to rub our hands together. And I'm thinking we're going to send some healing and a watery love to the fires, okay? So let's just do that. We're going to rub our hands together on the count of 3. We're going to send some watery love to wherever it's needed on appropriately. 1, 2, 3. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful long weekend. See you next time.
I've paid my dues, time after time. I've done my sentence, but committed no crime. Had bad mistakes, I've made a few. I've had my share of sandbags in my face. I come through. We go on and on and on and on. We are the champions, my friend. We'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. They paid my vows, my curtain calls. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. I thank you all, but it's been no bed of roses, no pleasure cruise. Considered a challenge before the whole human race, and I ain't gonna lose. We go on and on and on and on. We are the champions, my friends. And we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. We are the champions, my friend. We'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions. 2, 3, 4. We are the champions. Sing along. And we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions.
They want you to sing of the world. Of the world. Just give it to them.
Of the world.